Welcome back to AM Northwest. It's a style of drawing that allows you to use imperfections to your advantage. Here to show us a fun urban sketch project, we welcome back artist, educator, and the author of Mindful Sketching, Peggy Dean. Great to see you again, Peggy.
Great to see you.
Okay, let's talk about what you mean by mindful sketching.
Yeah, first of all, I used to be really resistant to the word mindful or mindfulness. It was hard for me to slow it down.
Yeah.
My brain just moves really, really fast, and I like creative projects, and I want to be able to dabble in this and this and this.
Sure.
And so this form of sketching, if you will, is very expressive. And that's what drew me to it initially, because I was so used to doing modern calligraphy, as we know, and airy things and watercolor and things like this. And then this was just so, it was just so expressive and so exciting to be able to see. And I wanted to jump into it because it just seemed so loose and fun, and it is, and it's fast. But the thing that I like about it the most is that it kind of slows you down.
Okay.
In a way, because you're being observational, but you're also picking and choosing. So for example, if you have a scene and you're traveling and you don't want to take a picture because there's a big truck or a big, cone or tape up, whatever it is that's blocking this really cool building scene, you can then choose to interpret that in your own way.
And take out that cone.
Yeah. And you're not trying for something that is photogenic. You are translating it into a way that is picking up the energy of it. And I know that sounds woo.
Woo, yeah.
But it is something that really has resonated.
Okay.
The other thing I wanted to share is the comparison between something that is more legitimate, let's say, so straight lines, proportions, and then if you go and you add character to it and you wobble the lines a little bit and you don't care about some overlapping. And so the difference there is vast, and I feel like there's so much more character when we put energy in.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's kind of what I want to encourage people to embrace.
Okay. So how do you show us how we do that?
Yeah. Okay, so I have a house here.
Okay.
And what I want to look at is...
Now, I would normally tell you.
Okay, tell me.
If we weren't on television,
here's
what I would tell you. That I'm not good at the straight lines and architecture.
Perfect.
Okay.
Then this is for you.
Okay.
What I look at here, I did color these out because I want to look at them in shapes. And so anything I draw, I'm like, what is the main foundation of it? So we're literally building a house with art. And so I'm not going to worry about what might overlap later. I'm just going to draw what I see. So here we have this main rectangle.
Okay.
I'm not really looking at how long it is. I just drew a rectangle.
Yeah.
And that was it. And then the next one I see here is a triangle on the left side. And it's a little bit taller, right, than the rectangle. So I'm thinking about that, but I'm not trying to be precious.
Okay.
And
we don't want to be precious.
No.
No.
And if it's too tall or too short or too wide, nobody cares, because we're doing something that is we are taking what we see, breaking that down, and making it easier. Here we have, it's kind of a rectangle, but it's tucked behind here, so really straight line, slight angle. Okay. And it comes just below our little triangle that we just drew.
Yeah.
At this, angle. And then from there, once we have a foundation, we can start to think about, okay, what are the next building blocks?
Sure.
And in this case, we have another rectangle for a window, another rectangle for a window. So we can put that in. And there are obviously tricks to figuring out, scale and proportion like that. But when it comes to just freeing ourselves, I think that the number one thing that we can do is to just jump in and then learn as we go. So much, we are so precious. I know it's a word.
There are a lot of people that don't want to take on art projects unless it's perfect.
Correct.
Like they feel like, I don't want to learn how to paint unless I know I can do it perfectly. Well, that's just not going to work, right?
No, and you know what I've found, the more the more you practice, the better you're going to become. You're going to learn more skills, and you're going to be able to, what I like to say is, instead of failing, I like to look at it as, I didn't make this up, but first attempt in learning is the acronym for fail. And I want to fail better next time. So essentially, if I don't like something or it's not correct, in quotes, then it means that all I've done, it's given me a creative decision of what I prefer and what I don't prefer. And so that informs me what I want to do next time.
Okay.
So in this case, now we have windows in, we have basic building blocks, and we can start to do the smaller details.
Okay.
So the lines inside the windows, and they're just splitting into thirds.
Right.
So there's just 2 lines in the middle. I didn't even do this right because I went ahead of myself, so it's not a true bay window. I'm not mad about it.
Yeah.
You know? So,
Don't be mad about
right?
it.
No way.
Yeah.
And so that's part of the fun. Now, what I will say, as this gets built out, it looks like a hot mess the whole time, but as we continue, the more and more detail comes in here and it starts to look correct. But what I want to say is when it comes to siding or when it comes to brickwork or anything like that, if you look at these again, these guys, do you see the siding is just a couple lines here and there, or the
Oh yeah, I see that
rooftop?
now. Yeah.
We're not drawing every single line or every single brick. We're just kind of finding some areas. I guess this would be not this kind of siding. See, I don't even care. I'm just going to go over it.
Yeah, I could have did my own siding.
Right? Roof. Okay. So then the siding is just these little clusters here and there, and that's going to give us the illusion, like our imagination is really powerful.
Yeah,
We're
it fills it in, doesn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
And if we were to brick a whole brick building out or something, it's
that would
just
too much.
it's stiff.
Yeah.
It takes away from the character of the building itself, because that's just like that accent that gets added. And so I'm just looking now at the next step of, okay, what are the next parts?
Oh, I see the
breaking-
archway in front.
Yeah,
Okay.
and mine's not correct. But let's say you did want to draw to scale. So what I would do in that case, which I'm not doing right now, if you did want to draw to scale, what I would do is look at one main object that's like a good central point. So in this case, I think that rectangle is good because of the height.
Yeah.
I also think a window is good because then what you're looking at is the width and the height of one object in comparison to another. So for that, scale-wise, then the door would be just a sliver higher, right? So something like that. If you're drawing in IRL, in real life,
In real life.
the best thing that you can do is hold your pen all the way out, and like all the way out, because where you're standing, if you move your elbow, that changes everything. This trick where you
smash someone's head,
smash someone's
pinch
head.
their head.
Yeah. So all the way out means that your length is never going to change it from where you're standing. And then if you close one eye, you're able to measure a building from the tip of your pen to wherever your thumb presses on the pen. And then you can think about it in scale of, okay, I already drew this piece and I drew it right here. Now I need to measure this next part of the building. I'm going to do that. And then that's going to be, okay, 2/3 of what, 2/3 of what that was.
Yeah.
And then 2/3. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
It's like a little bit of
I
little
get
bit of
what you're
planning,
saying. Yeah.
but it becomes second nature. I honestly don't do a lot of that because I really enjoy
Just being mindful and enjoying the moment.
Yeah.
Right?
Because I don't, it's like one of the things that I'm like, you don't have to make this literal. And as I go, I'm like, okay, do I want more of that? But you can always come back to an area and decide, okay, I do want more detail in that spot. But it allows you to scribble.
Yeah. I just scribbled in a little tree.
That's
there
right.
We go.
Yes.
My cute little tree. Love it. All right, the book again is titled, what is it again?
Mindful sketching.
Mindful Sketching. Thank you, Peggy Dean.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it. Always good to see you.
It's great to see you.
All right, we'll be right back with more AM Northwest. Don't go away.